Okay, this is CAD 11, and this is kind of like the final result, but not quite there. A couple things I want to talk about. You have this video, so you can look at it over and over again. A couple things I want to look at is, the first one is LT scale. So if I type in LT scale, hold on, let me get here, LT, just type in an LT, you get the LT scale here, and you can click on it. What this does, it changes the spacing of your center lines and your hidden lines and phantom lines if you have them. It does nothing to your solid lines. Right now the value is 0.5. If I put a value, let's say, of 2, see how big they get? That's not enough. That's too much or too big. So let's put it at value of 0.5. I think 0.5 is a good look for your LT scale. If you have center lines, there's another thing I want to talk about. If you have center lines, see how mine, the whatever sticks through the top should be the same on the bottom. Like this one here, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. If you want to lengthen those, you can just simply grip, which puts the blue dots, and then you click the one, and then you can stretch. See? Right mouse click and deselect all would be the one I'd choose, or just hit escape. So if you don't like it that long, which it shouldn't be, you grip and rip. Now sometimes you may have to turn the object snap off, which is F3. Okay, over here to the right, because if it may snap to that point and you don't want it there. So make sure your ortho's on F8, so you can only stretch it vertical because you don't want them at an angle. So that's grip and rip. Grip them, get the red, then bring it down. You can stretch them. So that's a little bit about the center lines. So you got LT scale and grip and rip. I want to show you how to put the hatching. Because where you cut down the middle, this is a full section, if you cut down the middle, then some of this would be hatched in here. And also let me kind of explain what's going on. You got this quadrant right here, and at that quadrant you have this line, and then where the line comes back right here, where this intersection right there, you bring that line down and it puts this line here in. And then of course these two lines are the keyway, and then these two lines are the hole going through the center of the hole. So we have to go to hatch. I'm going to go back to home, and there's your hatch command. So you click on that icon and you get a whole different ribbon. I wouldn't worry about the hatch pattern right now, just go with what's there. And if you pick in the box, see, it puts the hatch in. Okay, now I didn't put it in the layer I want. You can adjust the angle of it. See that little slider bar here? You can put whatever angle you want. The hatch should not be horizontal, because then it gets confused with the object line. And it should not be vertical, because it gets confused with an object line. So about 45 degrees is about right, you know, for this. Alright, in this case it was 90, the other 45. Then when you're done, well, we're not done yet. See the properties here? Right now, it's using the current layer. I can use layer hatch. HA means hatch layer. And when you're done, just hit close. And there you go. There's your hatch. If you want to modify, I think if you just double click on it, so you just double click on it, you'll bring that ribbon up again and you can do some modifications. Alright, so that's a little bit about the hatching, LT scale, grip and rip. Now I want to put some dimensions on this. Now the dimensions need to be 2-place decimal. A couple of different ways we can do that. We could go into the annotate and go to the this flyout arrow there, and if we go to modify, see we only have one style, it's called standard, and we can modify it. Well, I'm sorry, that's not what we want. We want to go not leaders, we want to go to dimensions. Right, dimensions, flyout, right there. There, standard is your style, modify, and what we'd have to go to is your units, primary units. Right now they're at decimal, but they're 3-place. So if you want to change it to 2-place, you could go here. Then every dimension you put in is 2-place. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it 3-place, just for size. I just want to show you where you could go to change it, and hit OK, and then close out of it. I'm gonna show you a way we can do it on the fly. So I'm gonna go ahead and start dimensioning this like they show in the book. All right, just copy what they got. So linear dimension. In fact, before I even dimension, let me go to my layer here, and I'll make my dim layer current. So if I click that, then that layer is current. That's the one I'm going to be using. So let me go back here, dimension, here to here. Okay, is that 0.5? Actually, it should be 0.3125. So that's too big. So see, I made those wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those. Okay, and I'm going to go to my fillet command, chamfer command, chamfer. I'm going to set it for the distance of 0.3125. And then I'll just pick this line, see? This line, this line, this line, this line, this line. So there's my correct distance. Okay. Let me go back to dimension, linear. It should be from here to here would be, yep, that looks better. Now if you want a 2-place value, if you grip it, then right mouse click on it and go to precision. Okay, there's a lot of things you can do here with that right mouse click. Just set it for 2-place. So that's what I'm saying by doing it on the fly. Let me dimension from here to there. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my object snap and set endpoint current, okay, or running. So you have endpoint, you have center, you have intersection. Those are the ones that are current. So let me go ahead and delete this real quick. Do it again. Dimension. See, I'm going to go from the endpoint here to the endpoint there and put the value in, because look, see, I get the gap right here. I get that gap. I get that gap. You need to have the gap. And then we'll dimension from here to here. It would be the 1 inch. And then we dimension from, go back to dimension here to here. And I'll just bring that down. See, I could, if I don't want to put it here because it's right in line with the 1, I could put it up here. I'm just going to bring it down so it cascades nicely. This to this. So when you read the print, you can see it clearly. Alright. Now, if I want to change these to 2-place, I can just grip them, grip all of them, right mouse click, and go to precision, and go to 2. Simple as that. Now you got to put that 45 degree in here, don't we? So we go to here, go to angular, and I'm going to pick this line, and I'm going to pick this line, and just drag it right in there like that. Let me do that again. I can just undo, zoom in, angular, pick this line, drag it right like that. There's my 45. Alright, I need to put a different type of dimension, linear, from this point to that end point down there. to put an overall from this point to that point. Should be there. And I'll worry about the leader last. We got to put that diameter in, the ream diameter here. Just drag it right here like that. Now I'm going to leave the ream the 3-place value because it is a reamed hole, but I want to put ream next to it. All you have to do is double click on the text and you get a text ribbon. I'm going to zoom in. Notice where the blinking cursor is. It's on the left. I hit my arrow, puts it on the right, put a space bar, and put REAM. Make sure cap locks is on. And then hit close editor. There you go. That's how you append text. Basically all you're doing is copying the dimensions the way you got them here. We got to put the height, the 5/8 in here. Linear. From this endpoint to that endpoint. There. Linear. The height is this endpoint, here. Now we need to change them to a 2-place decimal. There's another way to do this, and I'm going to show you this command. It's called match properties. So if you click match properties, it asks you select a source object. So if I use this as my source, see it's a 2-place and it's blue, and then it'll pick up, see, let me do that again so you understand. So I go to match properties, it says select a source. I pick my source, whatever it is. It picks up those properties, and then it says select destination. So I want this to match. See how now it matches with a 2-place, and that one matches a 2-place. I can also do with layers. So if I go to here, and I pick my source, and say I want to make that, and that, and that, see? But I don't want to do that, so I'll go back to match properties. I'll pick my source as my object line, and I'll turn those back into object lines. Alright, we got a couple more dimensions. I lost my center line there, so I'm going to copy this. And I'll say I want the midpoint of that line to the center of that. Okay. So I have to go to my object snap and pick up midpoint. So I want the midpoint of here to the center of that. I don't like the way that endpoint is there, so I'll grip and rip that down a little bit. That one's up too high. I'll grip and rip that one down a little bit. Did it move? See, it's not moving, is it? It's because my object snap is on. You turn that off, then you can grip and rip. Say, grip and rip. There, looks better. And then you can turn it back on. So I got my center line. Alright, let's go ahead and dimension this now. Annotate, dimension, this endpoint to this endpoint. Bring it here. Okay, what else we got? The 7/16, we got 1 1/8. We need to put that one in. So from here to there, 1.125. All right, and I'll go to my 2-place. So I'll just match properties. Here, there, there. We got to put the drill in. Annotate. Diameter. Pick the circle. Right, and there it is. If you want a text appended to it, how do you do it? You double click on it. put the arrow to the end, space bar, and then put drill. It needs to be a 2 place, so I can click it, right mouse click, precision 2. And what else we have? We got the drill, those 3 are done, those 2. I think the only thing left is the keyway. Alright. Now the keyway can be done a couple different ways because it's a leader. There's a couple different ways. Let me show you. We could type in dim. Type in dim, enter, then type in L for leader, and you could pick the leader, like somewhere there. Turn your ortho off, enter, and then put in there, was it 0.44 by, put a space in there, by 0.22, and you can let me do that again. Well, see how it's separate entities? Let me do it again. Dim, leader, pick here, here, enter, and the text would be 0.44, 0.22, keyway. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is use Multileader. Alright? But to do the Multileader, you have to go to the leaders and that little flyout arrow is where you make your changes. So let's step through the changes. You have a default style called standard, and if you want to modify, you just click modify. I made some changes, and you want to make your landing 0.12, which is an eighth. All right, under the leader structure. If you go to the leader format, make sure the arrowhead is 0.12 in size. Make sure the leader break is 0.125 in size. You can make it 1 point so they match. And then go to content. The text height should be 0.120. And the leader connection should be middle of the top line, but for both left and right. Middle of top line. And then when you're done, close it. So then it'll look like this, but if you go to Multileader, let's do it here. Bring it down here. See, now it's a text editor. So you could put in 0.44 by 0.22. Oh, let me do it again here. Multileader. Enter. All right. 0.44 by 0.22 keyway. Or if you don't want one, you could enter and put keyway. And then hit close text editor. So there. This one's here a little more dynamic because it's one entity, and you can move it around. Okay, if you wanted it down there. This one here, they're all separate entities. If you type in dim leader, say you got your arrowhead, that's separate. They're all separate. So if you go to move, you can move it, but nothing else moves. A couple different ways. I think you'll like get rid of that. So you got your 0.44 keyway there. I think we got all the dimensions. The next step is to insert your title block and border and export it out as a PDF. Just got to make sure I got all the dimensions. And the title is the shifter block. So that is CAD 11.